Yo, this is it. I'm Mr. Fate, and you're listening to Attack of the Beats on IllMuzik.com. It's been a couple weeks. I had some stuff to take care of, and I figured, gotta get back into business here, so I got a whole new slew of beats to review, and I'm going to start right now with it. But before I get to it, you obviously have noticed in the forums some things have changed, and I don't want to get too much into it and stuff. But basically, the way forums work is, you have a bunch of sections and then all these subforums. And, I think one of the problems with the forums today is that, with any forum today, is that it's the forum. It's the format. It's just today, it's all about social media and everything has to be quick and everything. So, everybody wants information right away and stuff like that. So I figured, how about I put everything in one forum and I just divide it up by prefixes, so like categories. So when you go to the forum, you just see all the prefixes there. You just pick which one you want and just click on it, and there you go. You see all those threads and all that stuff. It's all there in one spot. So anyway, you just go to the forums, check it out, and you'll see. It's very simple. It's a very simple layout. It doesn't change anything about the actual threads or any topics, whatever. It's just the main page of the forum. It's just changed. So like when you go there, everything's just there right away. You don't have to try to navigate through all these subforums and all that stuff. So this should be a lot better, a lot easier for everyone and stuff, and plus I fixed it up so it's a lot better for mobile devices now. So make sure you check it out. All right, so enough of that shit. All right, so let's get into the beats. First up, we got 808 LXRD with Hard Asian Egyptian Trap. All right, let's check this out.
Lord on the beat. Lord on the beats. Lord on the beats.
All right. Okay, so that was 808 Lord, which I thought it was LXRD, but X represents O, I guess. But anyway, 808 Lord with Hard Asian Egyptian Trap. I don't know how that's supposed to be classified, but whatever. But yeah, okay. So one of the things with this show is that I don't know who's been making beats for the past 5 minutes, or if they've been making it for the past 5 years. I don't know. So from what I gather with your beat, it just sounds like you're just trying to do a whole bunch of different things and stuff. And the thing is that you're just doing too much with the beat, okay? Because what I like is your drum track is good, because you got your kick and snare, your hat, whatever, and some cymbals and all that. So it's a nice pattern you have and everything. I think the problem with your drums is that you just need to experiment with them and start layering some drums, because what it is, they sound like some stock drums that you would get from a program or whatever. So don't be afraid to layer them with something else. That's always a big popular trick that people use. You layer the kick, layer the snare, let's say, and you'll come up with some different combinations. There's all kinds of shit you can do with that. So don't be afraid to experiment with the drum track and try to build it up. Make it sound a little better, because right now it's a little too punchy for the kick, and the snare, it just sounds like a generic snare, let's say, from some program, whatever. So But the pattern's good or whatever. You did play with it a little too much or whatever, but yeah, experiment with that. I would just say, just try to fix that up. Once you do that, once you layer the drums and you get some different sounding drums, maybe take like some sample drums and layer with it, and it'll make a big difference. It's fine to use drums from our program, but once you use samples and stuff, it's going to make a big difference. And then once you do that, then you could start, fixing up the drums. Add some more swing to it, add a bit of saturation or whatever, maybe a bit of a beat delay to it, and that'll really spice up your drum track. So just that alone will be the center of your beat, because you have that what is like a sitar guitar type sound you have going on and stuff, and that's okay. I've heard beats like that before, like popular beats that were using that type of sound, and it really worked out and stuff for them. But so in your case, maybe it's just the pattern that just needs to be better. It's good. I just think you need to maybe change it up to have a better sounding pattern to go along with the drums. So then once you do that, then you can have then you can just focus on that, bring in some bass and then maybe some strings and stuff. The strings you have, again, that sounds like a generic type string that you would hear off a synth, some program, whatever, and stuff, And that's a problem for a lot of people, is that they just use the sounds that come with whatever they have. And that's okay if you're just starting out or whatever, but, you got to try to use different sounds. And even if you only have those stock sounds to play with, you just try to EQ it, filter it, add some effects to it, just to make it sound so it's not so dry, just make it sound like it's not so flat, because that's the whole thing. This whole beat, it just sounds dry and flat. So it just needs maybe a bit of compression, and maybe it just needs some kind of mastering effect on it, so that it just makes it sound a lot sweeter, a lot more exciting. There's even a plugin. Well, there's plugins out there where they're called exciters or something like that, like where it just you just slap that on top of your mix. It just can make it sound a lot more exciting, so anyway, but yeah, just play around with those things. There's a lot more I can get into. I don't want to keep going on and on, but anyway, just try those things and see how that works out for you. And but focus mainly on the drums first, work on that, and then you could start building on the other stuff. So all right, so next up we've got Andy with Years of Walking. Let's check it out. All right. Okay, so that was Andy with Years of Walking. All right, so for this beat, see, this is what I was saying about the previous beat. Here you have on this one, you have this sample guitar. What a difference, compared to the first beat. This one, it just sounds a lot smoother, a lot more exciting because, you know, it's a sample, right? I mean, it just sounds a lot better than something using off a synth, you know? So like, that's why, you know, if, you know, for this, I mean, with this sample, you know, if you're somebody who's using just a synth, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that at all whatsoever. It's just that try to emulate something like this sample, you know what I mean? Try something like that. At least it'll, you know, make it sound a little more exciting, you know. So but this beat, I really like this beat. It's dope. It's you have the nice guitar and the violin's really nice. I just think that the violin needs to come down in the mix. Okay, it's a little too loud. I know you're trying to make this as the main part of your beat, obviously, and that's fine, but it doesn't need to be that loud, you know, to be, you know, front and center. So because, you know, your violin's all the way through. So the drums are really nice, and I just think that the kick should be thicker. Okay, it should be fatter because it's nice, but I just think it just needs more oomph to it. Okay, so just work on that kick, make it, you know, just bump it up a little more. Like I said, the snare's fine, could be a little louder maybe, but then again, that could be because the violin's overpowering, right? So once you bring the violin down, then maybe, you know, obviously we'll hear more of the snare or whatever. So the only thing too is that the violin is that since you're carrying it all the way through the beat, I would think about, you know, trying to change it up at one point or another and stuff. So in this case, you know, the way your beat is, it's a type of beat where you could have a part where you drop out the violin and do like a low pass on it or something like that. Because I mean, I don't know if you're going to use this for an MC or something like that, but let's say you are, then you're gonna have to make some room for the MC. So in that case, then, you know, that's what you do with the violin or whatever. So. But that's the only thing really, is that, you know, it just gets a little repetitive with the violin, even though it sounds really, really nice. So I would just have some kind of change up or drop out or something. And so that, the kick, fatten it up and all that. And but it's a really nice beat. I like it. It's some dope shit. And I like that guitar sample. That's some good stuff, man. Plus you had some keys in the background or something. So I don't know if that's you doing something with that or if it's part of a sample or whatever. But it's nice. It's some nice shit there. All right, so next up we got J Amazing Beats with Nonstop. Let's check it out. All right. Okay, so that was J Amazing Beats with Nonstop. All right, so for this one, I really like this beat. It's some dope shit. Okay, it's called Nonstop. I actually didn't want it to stop. It was a nice beat. I liked it. But no, it's funny because the kick on this beat is the type of kick I wanted to hear on the previous beat with Andy, right? I think this kick would be, it's a nice thump, it's thick. That should have been on the previous beat. But anyway, so for this one, I really like it. It's dope. You have some, like I said, nice kick, the snare, everything. The bass line is really nice because it's super smooth. It's an easy pattern, and it fits really well in the mix. The synth work is fantastic. I really like the synth work, especially when you bring in that high pitch synth part and all that stuff, that nice little tune. I mean, that's what really makes the beat, I think, especially when you take it out, you bring it back in later on. I think that's what really makes it. My main complaint would be the actual mix. I think is that it's good. I just think that because all the instruments you're using, they're just all like in your face, all very loud. So if you were to mix it better so that the synth is not so loud and everything else wasn't so loud, then you'd have a nice even mix. So I think it's just the levels, basically just the levels really that need to be tweaked in the mix, just to bring things out a little more, bring some stuff down a bit and stuff. And the synth, like I said, synth is really nice. You want that to be the main thing in your beat, but at the same time, you want the other stuff to come through. So maybe the bass could come down a little, drums too a bit or whatever. But that's the thing with this type of beat. You got to make sure that your mix is not too much in your face, or too much in the person's ear, let's say, because it's just too much. It's too overwhelming, right? So it's a shame because it's such a nice beat, but it's the mix. So like, as long as you get the mix in check, you'll be fine, because it's a really, really dope beat. I like it a lot, especially that synth stuff, man. You did some great work on that. So just get the beat tweaked, the mix tweaked a bit, and you'll have yourself something really nice, because it already is really nice. But I think just tweak it, and it'll be a lot nicer. So, all right. So next up, we got Mr. Bug Jones one. Yeah, with Good Dope. Let's check it out. All right. Okay, so that was Mr. Bug Jones 1 with Good Dope. This one's nice. I like it because it's up tempo. It's a nice beat. It's I can see it easily as a party beat. I just think that it just needs to change up basically because it's the same 2 bars over and over, really, so even though it's a dope 2 bars, still it's just I just wanted to hear something else. Okay, I mean, it was just like it just got a little repetitive and stuff. So but it is nice though for what it is. I like the drums, I like the bass, I like all the little tune you have with the synth. It sounds nice. But the other thing too is that it was weird because the beginning, and well, actually not just the beginning, but a couple other parts. So I guess when you brought in the other, like I guess like a saw bass or whatever it was, when you brought it in, it just seems like maybe you messed up on the mix because it sounds like that's a lot louder. The drum track, it's a lot louder on that than it is for the others. So check that again because like right at the beginning you can hear it's like let's say the snare, I can hear it loud, and then once you take that part out, the low end part out, and then all of a sudden the snare is a lot lower. So at first I thought it was my ears, I thought I was going deaf, but then I was like, wait a second, I played it back, and yeah, it's there. So just check it out and just see what's going on with that mix there, with maybe you made some mistake, I guess. But anyway, besides that though, is that, like I said, just some kind of change up because it's a nice tune, I like it. It's just that I just wanted to hear something else being done with this. Okay, so like I said, the drums are good and it's a nice little tune you have, but I just want to hear some kind of change up and all that stuff. So but definitely check out that mix though. Check out that mix because like I said, it does definitely sound louder on the hook, so give that a check. All right, so next up we've got the last beat. It's Steven Diaz with the drips. Let's check it out. All right. Okay, so that was Steven Diaz with the drips. I like this piano sample because it's a piano sample. I love that shit, and it's got the nice snap, crackle, pop on the sample. That's dope. But then you have that low end part come in, and that was just too deep. I was like, whoa, that was just way too deep. So I would actually just like to hear a proper bass line to go with this piano. Okay, or even just like the piano, you just copy it over to another track and add some low pass to it, bump it up a bit so that use that as your bass line or whatever. But still, I just don't like that low end that you used because it was just too deep. It was just too much like, I don't know, it just didn't belong there. It just sounded like and stuff. But I do like the piano sample. It's nice, especially when you changed it up. It was nice to hear it changed up. It wasn't just the same thing over and over. But then you get the drums, and the thing is that the drums, yeah, I know what you're doing with that. Is that it's a laid back drum track, but honestly, I just think that this type of sample, it doesn't deserve a laid back drum track. I was expecting some hard hitting, just some regular hard hitting drums to come in and stuff. I think that'd be a lot better because it's hard to use. I've tried it myself. It's hard to use a laid back drum track. When you're making a beat and stuff. It depends. It's not really. it's not really meant for everything, you know, for every sample and stuff, you know. I mean, some people can pull it off, but it depends. It really depends on a few things, like what the sample is, you know, what kind of track you're using or whatever you're doing or whatever. But the to have a laid back drum track like that, I don't know. I don't think that really would work in this case. I was just expecting some regular drums. Try that, you know, and like I said, the piano's fine. I mean, I wouldn't touch the piano whatsoever. It's fine, you know. Just try that with some regular drums, and you know, like just an actual bass line instead of just that bass drop thing. And I think that would be a lot better than what you have right now, because like I said, it's just, even though the drum track is okay, it's nice, it's laid back, I just don't think it really matches up with this piano sample. So give that a try and see how that comes up. Alright, so that's it for me. I'm Mr. Fade. This is Attack of the Beats. Keep sending the beats in, I'll keep reviewing them. And my favorite beat is, the winner is, drumroll please, J Amazing Beats with Nonstop. Let's check it out.